All right, Steelers Nation, buckle up because there's a lot happening in Pittsburgh right now as the team continues to fine-tune its roster heading into one of the most important matchups of the season. Before we get started, do me a quick favor. If you're loving this kind of in-depth Steelers coverage, smash that like button because it helps this channel grow and reach more members of Steelers Nation around the world. Let's get into it. The Pittsburgh Steelers are a team on a mission. After a strong 3-1 start and a well-timed bye week, Mike Tomlin and Omar Khan are making it clear this group is far from satisfied. The front office continues to make subtle but strategic roster moves aimed at improving depth, versatility, and preparation, especially as the team gears up for its first AFC North showdown of 2025 against the Cleveland Browns. And in a move that has both fans and insiders buzzing, the Steelers have officially signed former Browns edge rusher KJ Henry to the practice squad. If that name sounds familiar, it should. KJ Henry has bounced around the NFL since entering the league as a fifth-round pick out of Clemson back in 2023 NFL Draft. He's played for the Commanders, Bengals, Cowboys, and, most recently, the Cleveland Browns, where he had a standout preseason just a few weeks ago. And here's the twist. Henry isn't just another practice squad depth signing. His addition comes right before the Steelers' matchup with the team that just cut him. Coincidence? Not a chance. Henry had a strong preseason with the Browns, highlighted by an eye-catching play where he intercepted Dorian Thompson-Robinson and returned it 45 yards for a touchdown against the Eagles. That moment showed not just athleticism, but instincts, and you can bet Mike Tomlin and his staff noticed. By bringing Henry in this week, the Steelers aren't just adding depth, they're gaining valuable intel. Henry knows the Browns' tendencies, the defensive signals, and even the way their linemen communicate. As one insider put it, if you can't beat them, sign someone who knows how they think. Now, let's be clear, Henry isn't expected to crack the 53-man roster immediately. He's on the practice squad, and that's likely where he'll stay, at least for now. But his role this week could be massive. The Steelers' coaching staff is expected to use Henry heavily on the scout team, mimicking the Browns' edge rushers, including Myles Garrett and Zadarius Smith, to help prepare Aaron Rodgers and the offensive line for what's coming Sunday. Think about it. Rodgers is about to experience his first real AFC North rivalry game. Cleveland's pass rush is relentless, and every little piece of preparation matters. Having a player who just went through the Browns system in camp could give Pittsburgh the tiny edge they need to protect their quarterback and control the tempo. It's classic Mike Tomlin, always searching for that competitive advantage, no matter how small. And while we're on the subject of defense, Steelers Nation has reason to smile. The bye week did wonders for this team's health, and a few major names are back in action. Joey Porter Jr., out since Week 1 with a hamstring injury, is officially off the injury report and ready to return. That's huge. Porter's size and physicality are critical against a Browns offense that loves to test the boundaries with their tight ends and backs. Alex Highsmith, who sprained his ankle in Week 2, is also set to make his return. Having him back opposite T.J. Watt completely changes the dynamic of the defense. Watt's been his usual dominant self, but with Highsmith healthy again, opposing offenses will have a much tougher time focusing protection on just one edge. And then there's Jalen Ramsey. After missing practice time earlier in the week, the veteran defensive back was a full participant on Friday and is listed as questionable. Tomlin called his rehab aggressive, and Ramsey himself hinted that he might be ready to go. Ramsey joked with reporters saying, "We'll see, depends on who you ask." Then with a grin, he added, "If you ask me, yeah, it matters." That's vintage Ramsey, confident, competitive, and itching to get back on the field. If he's available Sunday, that could be a game-changer against a Browns offense that loves using tight ends David Njoku and Harold Fannin Jr. in mismatches. Ramsey's versatility allows him to play nickel, safety, or boundary corner, giving the Steelers options they desperately need against a physical, run-heavy attack. On the offensive side of the ball, there's good news as well. Jaylen Warren, who missed the Vikings game with knee soreness, is back and ready to roll. His return adds explosiveness to a backfield that already features Najee Harris, and his pass-catching ability could be key to neutralizing Cleveland's aggressive pass rush. However, it's not all good news. Wide receiver Calvin Austin III has been ruled out with a shoulder injury. His speed and ability to stretch the field will be missed, but the Steelers have enough weapons to compensate. Expect more work for George Pickens, Pat Freiermuth, and Jonnu Smith as Pittsburgh looks to exploit the middle of the field, something they've shied away from in recent weeks. Let's be honest, Steelers fans, this Week 6 game means everything. Not only is it Pittsburgh's first divisional matchup of the year, but it's also a measuring stick game. The Browns are physical, mean, and love to control the clock with their run game. Rookie running back Quinshon Judkins has been a revelation, racking up over 100 yards in multiple games, while rookie quarterback Dylan Gabriel has done just enough to keep defenses honest. This is exactly the type of game that defines AFC North football: gritty, physical, and likely low scoring. And that's why bringing in KJ Henry makes so much sense. He knows Cleveland's system inside and out. He's faced their offense in practice every day this summer. Now, he's wearing black and gold, helping Pittsburgh prepare to shut them down. If there's one thing we've learned about Omar Khan, it's that he's always thinking 2 steps ahead. Every move has purpose, and this signing is no different. Khan didn't bring Henry in to make headlines. He brought him in to win this week. It's a smart, calculated, under-the-radar move that perfectly captures the Steelers' mentality right now. Find an edge, no matter how small, and keep getting better every week. This is how championship teams operate. It's not about splashy trades or desperate changes. It's about finding those small details that give you an advantage when the margins are razor thin. This whole feud started long before Aaron Rodgers ever put on the black and gold. Back in 2023, remember when TJ Watt had one of the most dominant defensive seasons in the NFL? We all thought he was a lock for Defensive Player of the Year, but the voters gave it to Myles Garrett. That decision didn't sit well with Steelers fans or with Watt himself. And ever since then, there's been tension. Real, competitive, heated tension. Garrett apparently didn't like that Watt didn't publicly congratulate him for winning that award. And since then, he's made it a mission to make every game against the Steelers a personal statement. You can see it in his energy, in his body language. He gets extra locked in when he faces Pittsburgh.
Now, fast forward to this week. Speaking with the Cleveland media, Garrett didn't hold back. He said he's already looking forward to this showdown and made it crystal clear who he's targeting, none other than Aaron Rodgers. Here's what Garrett said, and Steelers fans, this one's going to make your blood boil a little. Quote, "He's a great one. He'll probably get propped up higher than some of the others. It would be an honor to put him in the graveyard. A lot of respect for him and what he's done in his career. He's special." Yep, you heard that right. Myles Garrett wants to bury Aaron Rodgers. Figuratively, of course, in his so-called graveyard of quarterbacks he sacked over his career. And this isn't just some random phrase. Garrett literally has a Halloween-themed graveyard display at his house every year, complete with tombstones representing quarterbacks he's taken down. He's got everyone from Ben Roethlisberger to Lamar Jackson in there. And now he wants to add Rodgers to that list. Steelers insider Mark Kaboly didn't hold back when Garrett first made that same comment back in June. Kaboly straight up told Garrett to shut up and focus on winning. Classic Pittsburgh response, right? No trash talk, just handle your business on the field. But Garrett clearly doesn't care. If anything, the noise fires him up even more. So here we are again. Browns versus Steelers, Garrett versus Watt, and now Garrett versus Rodgers. Rodgers' first AFC North battle in the black and gold. This is going to be Rodgers' first true AFC North slugfest, and we all know what that means. Hard hits, tough weather, and pure hatred in the trenches. Garrett's coming in with one of the most dangerous defensive fronts in football. The Browns' pass rush has been relentless so far this season, and they'll be looking to rattle Rodgers early and often. But here's the thing. The Steelers know this. They know Garrett's talking, they know he's hungry, and they're preparing for it. The offensive line, led by Broderick Jones and Isaac Seumalo, is laser-focused this week. Coach Tomlin's been emphasizing protection schemes, extra blockers, quick releases, and controlling the line of scrimmage. Because if the Steelers want to walk out of this one with a win, keeping Rodgers upright is the #1 priority. Rodgers himself, he's heard it all before. He's faced elite pass rushers for 2 decades, and he doesn't flinch. But he also knows this isn't just any matchup. This is Myles Garrett in Pittsburgh, where the fans will be fired up and the rivalry always feels personal. You can almost imagine the atmosphere at Acrisure Stadium. The terrible towels waving, chants echoing through the stands, and Rodgers standing in that pocket, eyes calm, reading the blitz, ready to strike. That's what Steelers football is all about. Let's be real. This isn't just about stats. This is about pride, about respect. Garrett wants to prove he's the most dominant defender in the AFC North, and Watt wants to remind everyone who the real Defensive Player of the Year should have been. Rodgers, he's stepping into this rivalry for the first time, and he knows every snap will count. This is the kind of game that defines seasons. If the Steelers can protect Rodgers and get their offense rolling, it'll be a massive statement, not just to the Browns, but to the entire NFL. It'll say, we're not just a team with star names. We're a unit that fights together, protects each other, and wins together. On the other hand, if Garrett gets his wish and manages to bring Rodgers down a few times, you can bet it'll be all over the headlines Monday morning. He'll have his graveyard moment, and the rivalry will only get hotter. But something tells me the Steelers aren't letting that happen. This team's coming off the bye week, rested, refocused, and with plenty to prove. The offensive line has heard the criticism, Rodgers has heard the doubt, and Tomlin, he's been here too many times before to let the noise throw them off. So, Steelers Nation, what do we make of this move? The Steelers add a former Browns defender right before their matchup with Cleveland. They're getting key starters back, and their roster is quietly rounding into full form as the season hits the middle stretch. It's the perfect time to build momentum. If KJ Henry can help the scout team simulate Cleveland's defense and give Rodgers and the offense a clearer picture of what's coming, this might end up being one of those sneaky good moves that pays off big time. But what do you think, Steelers fans? Do you like the signing of KJ Henry? Do you believe his insider knowledge of the Browns could actually make a difference this Sunday? And how confident are you heading into this first AFC North test of the season? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I always love hearing from you guys. And before you go, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and turn on notifications so you don't miss any of our Steelers coverage all season long. Until next time, Steelers Nation, stay loud, stay proud, and as always, here we go.